This podcast is produced by OnPod, a video content studio near you.
All right, Raphaël, thank you for joining me on Expert Seat.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
You've had an interesting life, my friend.
Thank you for that.
There's a lot to cover. So
Yep.
I've been diving a bit deeper into the stuff that you have online, a few of the interviews that you've done. I've gotten to know you for the past 15 minutes. And I guess we should start at the beginning. Like, you've traveled so much in your life.
Yeah.
What got you excited about traveling?
So I started my career in Paris. So
Okay.
I'm an engineer, but I worked in the IT software business at the very beginning. And I truly enjoyed my stay in Paris. You know, a great job, pretty successful. But I thought that it was a bit limited. So I wanted to go outside of my comfort zone. And I decided to go outside of Europe and spend a few years in India. So my first stay was in India.
Why India? What attracted you to India?
So I was working for an IT company called Capgemini.
Okay.
Pretty strong worldwide company. And they offered me this position in India. They were looking for someone to manage a team there.
Okay.
And so the team was based in Kolkata, Mumbai, and Bangalore. So I was traveling across India. And it was a lot of fun. So I spent 3 years over there, more on the operations, So I started as a sales director.
Yes.
And then the idea was for me to explore the operations. So I spent 3 years over there managing projects with my team. We had a lot of fun. It was really, really nice.
Was your team mostly Indian workers or mostly French workers?
I mean, we called it the one team model.
Yes.
So some Indian colleagues were based in Paris and some French individuals were based in India.
Okay.
So the idea was to mix the teams.
And is there challenges on that front to deal with different cultures, different languages?
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a different culture in terms of languages. I had to improve my English.
Yes.
So this was the first step. But honestly, at the very end, we all wanted to be successful. We wanted to deliver the best for our customers. So everything went really well.
Yes.
And the teams joined up to deliver large projects for European customers, especially in the telco sector.
Okay.
Telecom sector.
And why were they in India? Was it for, and forgive me if I'm going into stereotypes, or is it because there was call centers there? Was that the reason?
First, the expertise.
Okay.
Our Indian teams were extremely strong on specific, topics. And on the top of it, you really want to be attractive when you sell, IT projects. And it's true that, the idea was to go offshore.
Okay.
So this was like the terminology at that time.
Yeah.
To rebalance a little bit the cost, because in Europe we were seen as pretty expensive.
Yes.
So working with our Indian colleagues were a way to rebalance and to be more cost attractive.
And we see a lot of call centers making their way back to, we see it in the real estate world where we used to hire, I had an assistant that was working in Mumbai. And Robert had a bachelor's degree, more educated than me, right? Excellent. The fee was a bit less per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Have the fees gone up a bit in India? And
Yeah. But still, I believe that this is a great mix.
Yes.
To have some expertise from Europe or the US.
Yes.
And to leverage our Indian teams, because there you can get a lot of engineers available working on your projects. So you have the capacity as well in India.
There's more people.
Yeah, more people available.
That's good. And I mean, we've got other countries here on the list: Dubai, Hong Kong. What prompted you to move to those places?
All right, so it's a long story.
Yeah,
bear with me till
let's
the end.
get into it. We've got the time.
So started in India 3 years. Then so I got married. Got the opportunity to meet a beautiful, smart woman in France.
Okay.
But she joined me in India, and then I got married in the south of France.
Is she from France also?
No, she's Polish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very international couple.
Yeah.
And then together we decided to move to Dubai. The idea, so I stayed with that specific company, Capgemini, and the idea was for me to win some projects in the Middle East, leveraging the Indian teams that I've been working with for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay? So I stayed 2 years in Dubai. I was managing the region. at some point. And then after those 2 years, we really wanted to stay abroad to continue our around the world tour. The theme of our wedding was love around the world. So the idea was really to travel.
Of course.
So we decided to explore a little bit Asia.
Yeah.
And so I found a job in Hong Kong. So I was a general manager of a software company there. And my team was based in Hong Kong and Singapore.
Okay.
Around 50 people across those two cities. And we were traveling extensively across Asia to develop our business.
Yes.
So I spent 3 years over there. We got twins in Hong Kong.
Okay, congrats.
So it was a great place for a couple.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun traveling every single weekend, but as a family, a bit more challenging.
What have you learned by your world travel? How has it made you a better business person? How has it made you a better manager?
Yeah, so it's a good question. Just to finish the story. So after Hong Kong, we got twins. And so we decided to move to Canada.
Okay.
So that's why now we live in Canada. So
I'm very curious about the Canada part. So
yeah, I will tell you. But so 5 years in Montreal,
Yes.
I was working for a large software company called SAP.
Okay.
And then after those 5 years, we moved to Ottawa because my wife got a job at the federal government, Global Affairs. So we decided to move to Ottawa. And so the idea was for me to work remotely for another company. So it's simple. So yeah, we have been traveling extensively. Now the question about the leadership and what was the added value. I would say 3 main values. The first one is you have been exposed to a lot of different cultures, behaviors, situations, and now I'm fully comfortable with all kind of situations and of kind of international discussions. Okay, so that's part of my business, by the way. I try to develop international relationships and to have projects all around the world. Okay.
Yes.
So that's a big plus. But it's not only that. The second point is in terms of leadership. So I had the opportunity to manage pretty large teams and managing managers that manages managers as well. So you are level 3. It's something that could be challenging, but you learn a lot around leadership and management.
Of course.
So that's the second point. And the last point is you need to adapt. When you change every 3 to 4 years, you need to find a way to adapt to new situations. And I developed that ability to adapt pretty quickly in new environments.
Yes.
So that's why I created the Club des Adaptophiles. Yeah. So that's part of the story because
on my list.
I realized that in this fast-paced world,
yes.
Every 3 months, 6 months, there is a new trend, there is a new technology, there is a new political environment. We need to adapt.
Yes.
Okay? And so I believe that it's a core skill that we need to develop at our level as adults and for the kids as well.
Yeah.
They need to understand that the future will change, and they need to find a way to go around any problems or any difficult situations.
Being able to reinvent yourself in 2025 and moving forward, I agree with you. It's probably one of the most useful.
That's a topic that I teach at the university, how to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, we need to reinvent ourselves now more often than before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the rate at which we need to reinvent ourselves might be accelerating.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if you're somebody that's in the, I don't know, tech sector.
Yeah.
And your company gets the idea of implementing an AI service.
Yeah.
And you find yourself, at the mercy of the AI evolution, and you lose your job. You also run a program at the University of Ottawa, is that right?
Yeah.
What's it called again? It's
so we have a few programs around leadership. So we have Decide, and we have Manage as well. Okay. But I don't teach the whole program at the university. We are going to start a new program at the University of Moncton as well.
Okay, nice.
So it's but those are the programs that I deliver directly to my customers, and so this is in progress.
You teach them how to readapt, how to evolve, how to right on.
So if we talk about leadership, how to motivate your team, because this could be a challenge as well.
Of
you know,
course.
when you have all the things moving around. So how to motivate them in the long term. I try to help them think strategically.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a lot of moving parts, you need to understand where you would like to go. So strategic thinking, critical thinking.
Yeah.
That's part of this program as well. The idea is to understand, the information, the flow of information, where to find the relevant information for you, your company, and how to make decisions.
Okay.
Innovation, creativity, dealing with difficult behaviors, time and energy management, communication under pressure. So those are the topics that I teach. And yes, it's part of the programs that I mentioned, Decide and Managed.
Okay. And you also help companies that are hundreds of people big,
Correct.
Companies that have hundreds of employees.
Yeah.
You help them implement management tactics.
Correct.
Things like that. I'm a bit in that position right now.
So you could be one of my customers, my
I
friend.
could be, yes. So, what are some of the mistakes that you see companies that go from 0 to 100 employees on their way? They have ambitions to be 1,000.
Yeah.
You probably see a lot of companies fail.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary to talk about.
Yeah.
But what is the number one mistake that those companies do where they're either stuck or they implode?
Okay. So I see the main issue is when you define a strategy, you're clear about your vision, your mission, because those are the things that you need to define as an entrepreneur. So you know exactly where you want to go. But when it's time to implement the strategy,
Yes.
okay, then there's a problem, because if the team has not been involved, if they don't understand your mission, your vision, if they don't understand the strategy, if they are not being involved in the overall process, then you are going to fail during the implementation. And so that's what I do. I make sure that first the strategy is well defined, that everyone is involved in this strategic process, and that I will have everyone on board during the implementation.
Yeah, I'm definitely not there. Like, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
Because from 0 to 100, it's been off of my efforts.
Yeah.
But now if I want to go to 1,000 or 500,
right.
You
need to demultiply the efforts.
Yeah.
And so you cannot run the show on your own. So you need to make sure that everyone is on board, especially your managers.
Yes.
And so you need to make sure that they understand and they are with you for the implementation.
Yeah. So I need to get better at communicating.
So communication is part of it,
yes.
Definitely, but it's not only that. There are a few tools that will help you be successful in the implementation, managing the budget, managing the risks, managing the resources.
Yes.
So.
And how do you work with these companies? Do you become part of the company? Do you consult the company? Is it an exterior role or is it an interior role?
So it's in between.
Okay.
So what I've done so far is working with those medium-sized companies 2 days a week.
Okay.
So it's not like a full-time job.
Okay.
But 2 days, you can make sure that everything will stay on track. You can help them define, as I said, the right strategy, and then make sure that the implementation goes in the right direction.
Yeah.
So that's 2 days a week. I think it's the right pace.
Okay.
To support my customers.
Do you speak only with the leader or do you speak with all the team leads?
No, so I talk to everyone.
Okay.
So I do that either remotely or on site. It really depends. But it's important to talk to both. Okay. And you need to create a connection with the team working on a daily basis on your plan.
Yeah.
Okay. As a consultant, you need to build that connection.
Yeah, I mean, you and I spoke off air when you walked in and about something that's going on in my company, and I can say this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm dealing with a situation, and 5-10 minutes, and we had a clear plan, and I'll go in and implement that. Thank you for that advice earlier.
Well, you're welcome. And
so
your
your
for
stuff.
Free, my friends.
Yes,
so
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But listen, we've talked about the management side of things. We were talking about the world traveling stuff, and then you ended up in Canada. And you decided to make Canada your
Yeah, we're very proud of it.
Semi-permanent home.
Yeah.
So why?
So good question. So we visited a lot of large cities,
Yes.
correct? So Dubai, Hong Kong, Bangalore. I would say Montreal as well. It was a pretty big city.
Yeah.
We truly enjoyed all those cities.
Yes.
Okay. But Ottawa for us is the right place at the right time.
Yes.
If you want to have a family, so we have twins, they just turned 13.
Wow.
Honestly, it's a great place. If you want to
Okay.
go biking, if you want to go hiking,
Yeah.
you can do that pretty
Skiing.
easily. You don't have that much traffic.
Mhm.
Skiing as well. You have great schools, and it's a capital, correct?
Yeah, of
So the
course.
cultural offer, all the events that you have. I
Yes.
was at Canada Day 2 days ago.
Yes.
It was a big party. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we truly enjoy living in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And Canada, if we talk about the political landscape, honestly, especially nowadays, it's a great country to live in.
Good.
I'm not going to compare, the countries where I lived, but I can tell you Canada is a great country.
Good.
And we are so proud to be Canadians because we are Canadian citizens.
Okay. Congrats.
And we finished the process.
How long ago was this?
So we became Canadians, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, it took 5 years.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah. But so proud of this citizenship and to be part
Ben
of
oui.
Canada. Ouais.
Do you hang on to your French citizenship and your wife her Polish citizenship?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
dual citizens?
Yeah. And so
Okay.
my kids, they have 3 citizenships:
Wow.
Polish, French, and Canadians. So
Okay.
the joke is the kids, they are 25% French, 25% Italian, because, I'm half Italian,
Okay.
50% Polish, 100% Canadian.
There you go. I love it. Yeah. And once the kids grow up, are you thinking of moving somewhere else? Is there any of these places that you've lived in before that you're looking to move back to?
That's it, my friend. We finished the tour. We talked about that with my wife.
Yeah.
So we finished the tour. We want to stay here for
Indefinite.
the next 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So we never know,
Yeah.
in 15 years. But, we truly want to stay. We live in Ottawa, in a nice neighborhood, and we enjoy our life so far.
Good. Yeah. And you've also traveled to Tahiti?
Yeah. So you remember after COVID,
Yes.
there was this big resignation. A lot of executives decided to take a break.
Yes.
And it's exactly what we've done.
Okay.
So we decided to go really far, and we wanted the kids to see a different culture, different color of the skin,
Yeah.
different language.
Yes.
The culture over there is amazing. It's so strong. So we spent close to 2 years in French Polynesia, and it was really nice.
Oh.
It was like a very long sabbatical.
Do you miss it?
Not that much,
No?
honestly. It was time for us to go back to Canada for
Yeah.
2 reasons. The first one is my wife working at Global Affairs. She had to go back,
Of course.
and for the kids, I think it's we really wanted them to be exposed to both languages, French and English.
Yes.
And Canada, to me, is the best place to get that exposure to both languages.
You grow up bilingual.
Correct.
100%.
In French Polynesia, all the schools are in French, correct?
Yeah.
And so we really wanted to go back as well to give them this opportunity to go to an English-speaking school and for them to be exposed to both languages.
Your children speak Franco-Ontarien, or do they speak French from France?
So we speak French at home.
Yes.
So, they adapt. They are adaptophile, correct?
Okay.
So they adapt really well. So they speak French, Polish,
Yes.
English, obviously, and Chinese.
And do you still have a hard time understanding the French from Ottawa?
So that's funny. So, I lived in Montreal.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I know all the specificities of, the French Québécois.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. By the way, my French friends will tell you that they have a Canadian accent.
Okay.
Yeah, after all those years.
You've
But
acquired
I'm fully comfortable with like any kind of accents or the words that people will use in French. That's add some spice to the French language.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we like it. But I remember traveling to Paris, and I tried to speak with a waiter in French, and they'd automatically switch to English.
Yeah.
They couldn't understand me because my French is obviously very local to here.
Around the world, I can tell you, if you have like a Canadian passport, people will welcome you
Good.
warmly, really.
We're perceived as polite people.
Yeah, polite, smart, and again, we are not into the extremes.
Yeah.
Okay? And so that's why Canada is a beautiful country, because I think we can work together, we can collaborate,
That's
and
right.
and we have a great story to tell.
Of course. And if people want to reach out to you, how do they do so?
So I have a website.
Okay.
So maybe we'll put that in the comments.
Jeremy will put that
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
I have a website. So that's the easiest way to connect with me. You may find me at the University of Ottawa, because I teach over there. University of Moncton as well. So if you want to connect and to get access to some topics that I just presented, feel free to connect with them as well. But my website, I would say, is the
best way to get
the best way. Yeah.
hold of you. Yeah. And do you prefer to work in person or do you prefer to work via Zoom? I'm guessing
So
for you, does it make a big
I'm
difference?
fine with both.
Yes.
But the thing is, I realized that my students, if we go for the Professional Development Institute or all the classes that I deliver through the formation continue, continuous training programs, people enjoy remote sessions now more than in classes.
Really?
Because it's much easier for them to follow the class. Correct?
Yeah.
They don't have to drive, and especially because even if the universities that I work for, they are on the east side of Canada, we have a lot of students coming from the west side, so they don't have to travel. So it's much easier for them. I would say it's 75% remote and 25% in class.
Okay. And do you prefer to be in person or?
I'm fine with both.
You're fine with
Oh yeah, I'm fine with both. It really depends on the topic as well. Communication under pressure, for example, I truly prefer when it's in person.
Yes.
Because non-verbal communication and
yes,
it's better to feel,
of course,
the person. But otherwise, I can do both.
You can do right on. Okay, well, people will be able to check out your website, reach out to you. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I've learned a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Raphaël.
Thank you.